Strap yourselves in for this deep dive, because we're heading straight into Gotham, and let me tell you, it's gonna be a wild one.
Oh, it's a wild one, all right.
We're diving deep into Joker, Folie, Deux, the sequel that, well, let's be honest, no one asked for.
Flick.
But everyone and their grandma seems to be talking about.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The buzz is deafening.
So we've waded through a whole heap of reviews, reactions, think pieces, you name it, just to bring you the good, the bad, and the downright ugly about this film.
We figure, hey, not everyone's got time to sit through a 3-hour psychological opera.
You said it. So real quick, just to set the scene for anyone who's been living under a rock, Joker. Folie Deux picks up with Arthur Fleck, Joker, right where we left him, stuck in the nut house. Arkham Asylum, to be exact.
Oh, yeah, good old Arkham.
And just to spice things up, he's joined by none other than Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that's a choice.
And they're singing. That's right, folks. This sequel's a full-blown musical.
And the critics, they're calling it daring, to say the least, and disaster.
Daring and disaster. That's putting it mildly. But hey, we'll get into the musical mayhem in a bit. First, what's everyone saying about Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga? I mean, they're both powerhouse actors, but are they actually any good in this?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? They're both fantastic actors, don't get me wrong, but even their performances are getting some mixed reviews. Like, some critics are saying Lady Gaga's amazing, but Harley Quinn feels kind of underdeveloped.
Underdeveloped, seriously. Yeah. How do you even underdevelop Harley Quinn?
You know, right? It's a head scratcher. It's almost like the director wanted to make a totally different kind of comic book movie,
Well, they definitely succeeded there. This is definitely not your typical superhero flick.
Not even close.
So we've got singing, we've got Arkham Asylum, we've got mixed feelings about Harley Quinn. Where do we even go from here?
Well, I think it's time we unpack this whole musical thing a bit, because let's be real. When you hear Joker musical, you don't exactly picture jazz hands and top hats, do you?
Definitely not. So what are we talking about here? What kind of musical vibe are we getting into?
I think more like, I don't even know, psychological opera with a bit of gritty rock opera thrown in for good measure.
Okay, so not exactly a feel-good, toe-tapping time at the movies then.
Not unless your idea of a good time involves, like, existential dread set to music.
Yeah.
But yeah, the music is definitely meant to get under your skin, to really make you feel the character's inner turmoil.
And judging by the reviews, it sounds like it's working. Some people are calling it brilliant, others are calling it torture. So pretty on brand for a Joker movie then.
Pretty much. But hey, that's what we signed up for.
Yes.
Diving into the madness.
Exactly. So speaking of madness, let's go back to the whole Harley Quinn thing. You said some critics thought her character was underdeveloped. I mean, Lady Gaga's no slouch when it comes to, well, anything, so what's the deal there?
Right, and that's the thing, she's fantastic in it, don't get me wrong. Just like, some reviewers felt like her story just wasn't given enough room to breathe, Especially compared to all the heavy stuff that's going on with Arthur.
Interesting. So it's not necessarily Gaga's performance that's the problem, it's more like a writing issue.
Yeah, that seems to be the general consensus. Although, and this is where it gets really interesting, did you know that both Gaga and Phoenix were super involved in the creative process? Like, they even worked on the script with the writers during filming.
Whoa, seriously. That's pretty unusual, isn't it, to have that much input from the actors, especially on a big-budget film like this?
Right. It makes you wonder how much of the final product was the director's vision and how much was, like, shaped by Gaga and Phoenix's interpretations of the characters.
That is fascinating. Okay, so we've got singing, Arkham, a potentially underdeveloped Harley Quinn, and 2 A-list actors calling the shots behind the scenes. What could possibly make this movie even more chaotic?
How about the fact that no one seems to know why the director decided to make it a musical in the first place?
Oh, come on. There's got to be some theories floating around out there. Did any of the reviews offer any insights?
Oh yeah, there are theories for sure. Plenty of them. But nothing concrete from the director's mouth. Some critics are saying it's all about blurring the lines between sanity and madness, using the music to get inside the characters' heads.
That actually makes a lot of sense in a weird Joker kind of way.
Right. But then you get others saying it's just a cheap gimmick to try and, cash in on the whole comic book musical trend or something.
Well, whatever the reason, it certainly got people talking.
Speaking of which, we dance around this whole musical thing long enough. Let's break it down a bit. You mentioned earlier that the film uses both diegetic and non-diegetic music.
Now, I took a film studies class back in college, but it's been a while.
Could you give us a little refresher on what those terms actually mean?
Right. Right. So diegetic music is basically music that exists within the world of the film. Like the characters can hear it too.
Okay,
So
okay.
think like a song playing on the radio, a band in a club, that kind of thing.
Judge it.
Non-diegetic music is purely for the audience. It's added in later, like the soundtrack, the score, like when the strings swell up during a dramatic moment.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So how does Joker, Folie, use these different types of music? Because it sounds like it could get pretty weird.
Oh, it gets weird. The film is constantly jumping back and forth between diegetic and non-diegetic sound to the point where you're not always sure what's real and what's, just in their heads.
Well, that's creepy. I like it.
Like 1 minute, Joker and Harley will be dancing to this song that only they can hear, and then the next, they'll be belting out a full-on Broadway number with a whole chorus backing them up, even though they're alone in a padded room.
Whoa. Talk about blurring the lines between reality and, well, insanity, right?
Exactly, and I think that's what makes this movie so fascinating, but also so divisive. It's challenging, trying to hold your hand and explain everything.
So, to wrap things up here, it seems like Joker, Folie is a film that refuses to be put in a box. It's a comic book movie, a psychological thriller, a musical, all rolled into one big, chaotic mess. For the folks out there who are still on the fence, do you think it's worth braving the madness? Or is this one best left to the diehard Joker fans?
Honestly, I think this is one of those movies you just have to experience for yourself. It's bold, it's ambitious, and it will definitely get under your skin. Whether you love it or hate it, it'll stay with you for a while.
Well, there you have it, folks. If you're looking for a movie that'll spark some serious conversation and maybe even a few arguments along the way, Joker, Folie might be right up your alley. Just be prepared to step into a world where sanity is subjective, music is the language of madness, and nothing is quite as it seems. Until next time, happy viewing.
And don't forget to let us know what you thought. And that's all for us today. Deep dive from Bytes, Buzz, and beyond. Don't forget to subscribe. See you around.